That's right, Moto fans. It's another Always Moto production. This is the emergency department, and I'm your host, David Hogan, the Australian physiotherapist that brings you all the injury information from the AMA Supermotocross series. As always, this show is brought to you by Leat Moto Australia. Check them out at leatmoto.com.au. Round three of the AMA Supermotocross was at San Diego, and it was another mud race, but it was a bit drier, and press day was very dry. So we had a return to our higher speeds and normal jumping rhythms, and that's resulted in a few injuries being added to this list. Let's jump into the emergency department list right now. First rider on the list, but not really on the list, or luckily not to end up on the list. Jett Lawrence, the number 18 for HRC Honda, had an interesting crash on press day at San Diego. Managed to underjump and attempted a quad, came up very short. Luckily for Jett, he had a lower entry speed into that jump, could see that case coming, managed to brace and obviously let go of the bars at the opportune time. Yes, he still ended up with a sprained thumb and wrists, but those are only minor grade sprains. With a bit of tape and a bit of anti-inflammatory and a bit of ice, things were able to get done for him, and he was able to ride through round three and into the main event for a fourth. Heading into this week, he will probably be doing a little bit of therapy on those things, but there won't be much required for it. He'll be fine by this week, and further, even better coming into the following rounds from here on out. He has obviously other things to worry about if you've been watching social media this week. Some interesting interviews across other media sources this week brought to light an injury for another rider that's been riding through injury. Now, it's amazing how many of these riders have injuries that we never hear about, or we hear about them many weeks after the fact. Kellen Brower of Racer X was doing an interview with Adam Cianciarulo where Adam brought up the fact that he has an actual broken finger / hand that was occurred at Anaheim 1 with an incident with Jorge Prado. Well done on Kellen Brower on getting that interview with Adam and him bringing up that information. But it brings to light the fact that these riders are always riding through something, it seems, and the varying depths of these injuries is always very interesting. Now, for Adam, a broken finger or hand, it's a smaller bone, so it's usually a 4, maybe out to that 6-week recovery time frame. But the fact that he's riding through may extend that out to that 6 weeks before the bone is completely healed. So Adam's grip strength and ability to manipulate the bike is going to be a little bit reduced over the coming weeks, and that might have explained his lackluster speed and results over the past few weeks. Have to keep an eye on how Adam goes through the rest of these next few rounds. Mitchell Harrison, the number 82 on the team, PRMX Partzilla Kawasaki, had a crash on press day, came up short on a jump. Checked in with the team. They have us confirmed that he is A-OK and heading to this week at Anaheim 2. It was just precautionary that he had a bit of a soreness all around. So he was back on the bike and planning to be Anaheim 2 this weekend. Tristan Lane, the number 97 of the team, Next Level KTM, also had a crash on press day, managed to get a concussion, was unable to compete. He's part of the AMA concussion protocol at this stage. He's hoping to be cleared from that in time to race Anaheim 2, but that will depend on obviously how he presents and how the tests go with the Alpine Star medical crew the day before or day of race day. Billy Laninovich, the number 132 on that privateer Yamaha, unfortunately got a bit of wheel spin on the finish line jump in the heat race for one of those 250 races, came up short, and then unfortunately collected a few other riders in the process. Billy doesn't have a specific injury. We've checked in with him this week, but he's just sore all over. Obviously, a lot of bruising across his body. He's been doing everything he can to get himself right for this week. He's had some massage. He's had some hyperbaric chamber. I've even seen him in some infrared treatments as well. So, look, a lot of this stuff is not going to make too much of a difference, but the fact that he's trying everything possible to get himself ready for the weekend is a good sign. So hopefully Billy will be able to ride A2. He has confirmed that that's his goal. Just obviously how that first session goes, it depends on whether he's able to continue on or not. Unfortunately, another rider caught up in that crash with Billy. Braden Spangle, the number 113 on a privateer Yamaha, caught up in that crash, managed to get a concussion. He's on the concussion protocol. Unfortunately, part of his assessments during the week has not gone well for him, and he needs some additional time. He won't be riding Anaheim 2 this week. With the West Coast 250s having a break next week, he has a 2-week gap until Glendale. Ideally, he'll be all cleared by that point, but he'll have to continue with the AMA concussion protocol and be required to be cleared by the Alpine Star medical crew before Glendale so he can get back on track. But ideally, he has the time to be recovered before that round. Julian Benick, the number 500 on a privateer Kawasaki, managed to break a thumb in one of the opening sessions at Anaheim 1, but has been riding through the injury ever since. Unfortunately, that injury has taken its toll, and Julian has gone in for surgery now, so he will be out for about 6 weeks based on just the surgery recovery alone. There'll probably be a 2-week period after that where he's regaining strength and fitness before he's able to ride. So we're probably in that window of 6 to 8 weeks. Now, that just leaves us with when he'll be back to the track. We won't be sure on that at this stage. We'll have to wait and see how that recovery goes. But that's what Julian is up to post-surgery at this stage. Still no confirmation on the injuries for Maximus Vohland, number 20 from the Pro Circuit Monster Energy Kawasaki. Both team press releases and Max's own social medias have been very quiet on the injury details at this stage. So when we have more, we'll bring you more. But at this stage, that's all we've got for the updates on Maximus Vohland. And our last rider in the emergency department this week, it's a bit of an update from the surgery rooms as well. Logan Carnow, the number 169 on that privateer OnlyFans Kawasaki. He has gone through his surgery for his ankle. Now, if you want to see something a bit gross but a bit cool, depending on which way you want to look at it from the surgical room, you can see some of the details and the gory details of his surgery on his socials. And I'm sure he's got more in his OnlyFans account. But make sure you haven't had a big breakfast before you check it out. You will see some guts and glory in it. But it is interesting to see that the plates have been worked on his bone and the ligament reattachments on the inside for the deltoid ligament. Now, the deltoid's the inside aspects of his ankle. So Logan's done a nice, ugly job on his ankle, and he will have a couple of nice scars to boot by the end of it. That's the updates that we have this week from the emergency department. Thanks for watching, guys and girls out there. Make sure you check back next week. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to check out leatmoto.com.au, and we'll be back next week with more updates from the emergency department.